All right, as a for sale by owner, there's one key word you need to know. You have to know this word, and you have to understand the word and how it's relevant and important to you. That word is distribution. Okay, distribution. And it's so critical that you follow that word, or that you know and understand that word. And the reason is because without distribution, you're dead in the water right out of the gates. It doesn't matter. Okay. And so let me give you an example so that you have a really good understanding of what we're talking about here. So what we're talking about is, normally when you put your house on the market, right? What do? You call an agent, A for agent, right? And do you think that agent suddenly goes out and calls everybody that they know to sell, to get them to buy your property? The answer is no. I mean, they might have a couple of buyers in their back pocket that they might go, hey, you know what, this one might work for you, but the odds are they don't. They just don't. Because if you think about how you have to narrow it down and whittle it down and whittle it down and whittle it down to find the right person who's looking for your house, the odds are not in the favor of the agent actually having that buyer, unless that's all they specialize is that neighborhood, right? So you call the agent, and what do? They use a distribution tool called the MLS, Multiple Listing Service, right? And instantly, once they put your property into the Multiple Listing Service, it goes out to thousands and thousands and thousands of agents in that area. Okay. So now what ends up happening is not only has that agent notified a bunch of thousands of agents, but let's take a look at this one buyer or this one agent. Let's just pick one agent. Okay. So that agent. Now let's make an assumption that agent, okay, they have that any given time, they're working with 5 buyers. Okay. Just 5. We'll leave it at that. And look, we know there's some that are going to be working with 40 buyers. We know that there's some that's going to be working with 0, right? So let's just call it an average of 5. Well, I can tell you in my area, in the county that I work in, there is somewhere in the neighborhood of 40,000 licensed agents who are dues paying members of the local board of realtors. And so 40,000 agents, if each of them had 5, okay, and you can do these numbers any way you want, right? Figure out how many homes are in your area, and then, put any number here. Put 2, I don't care, it doesn't matter. But in this scenario, that agent instantly, using a distribution tool called the MLS, has now exposed the property potentially to 200,000 buyers, right? It seems like a lot, but there's a lot of buyers out there, a lot of people looking for houses. But let's narrow it down, and we go, okay, well, so out of those 200,000, let's say only half of them are looking for a house. The other half are looking for a condo. Okay. And then let's say in your city that only, 5% are looking for a home in your particular city, your area, right? And then half of them are just looking for something that's in, your part of the city, right? So let's just narrow that down. And then, let's say, of that, you've got a 3-bedroom house. Well, let's say that there's a number of people who they got to have 4 bedrooms or more, but most people are going to have, be okay with a 3-bedroom house. So now let's say we're down to 2,000 prospective buyers. Okay. So through this distribution model that we talked about here, right? The multiple listing service, we have now leveraged all of these agents and all of their buyers to get down to 2,000 prospective clients for your house, right? Now, might sound like a lot, but of course, as we continue to whittle it down, some people is like, how big is the yard? And what direction is it facing? What condition is it? Right? So we're going to narrow it down, and it's going to come down to 30, 40, 50 people. Okay, but you have to see how big of a distribution you have just to get down to that 30, 40, 50 people who are actually interested in what it is that you have, right? So now, move this out of the way here. So now, what happens with most for sale by owners is they come out and they go, well, here's my house, right? And, you know, I'm going to put a sign in the yard, and you get nothing. Okay, hate to say it. Sorry, that's not the way to distribute your property. Or you'll even put it on Marketplace, and the only people who call you is, you know, agents, right? So what you do is you end up calling a cash buyer, because all these cash buyers are putting ads out saying, hey, we'll buy your house for cash. No repairs, no fix-ups, no cleanup necessary, right? So you call a cash buyer. Well, you can see the disparity between calling one cash buyer and leveraging an entire network, okay? So this cash buyer shows up, and they look around and they go, you know, there's nobody else competing against this property. None. So what that does is it gives them the opportunity to give you a lowball offer, probably 60% or 70% below after rehab value minus repairs. Oops. Okay. So that's what they're going to do. That's what they're figuring. They're going, shoot, if I can get this person to give me $60,000 minus the $50,000 in repairs, yeah, I'll take it. It's a huge win for them, right? And they know that because you have no distribution, you're going to be kind of desperate. Either that, or you go out and you hire an agent, okay, and you pay them to distribute the property. But you're smart, and you go out and you call 3 cash buyers. And you say, hey, I got 3 cash buyers. Now, they're going to come in, and they're all still going to be kind of in that same vein. Yes, they're all going to be interested. Yes, they're all going to give you an offer. And if you're smart, you go to each one of them and you say, hey, you know what? I got the other guy who's offering this much. I got the other guy who's offering that much. But one of the tactics a lot of real cash buyers, and there's a big difference between a real cash buyer and a wholesaler or a signee, or not a signee, but someone who assigns the contract to somebody else who doesn't even have the cash. But there's a big difference in those. So they're real cash buyers, and they go, you know what? I'm moving on to the next property. No big deal, right? So now you lose, one, maybe you lose both. Okay. But what if instead you used a distribution service like hybrid home sales, and you put that in, you put your property in, and now, yeah, you're not going to get access to 200,000 buyers, but what you are going to get access to is you're going to get access to several thousand, okay? Several thousand actual real buyers who then now can compete. So now if you have, 10, 15, 20 cash buyers, now you can start to get them to compete against each other for your property. We have done this. The best one that we've done this for, the seller was about to accept a $550 offer, and this was a trustee on a sale where dad passed away. They had assigned a non-family member trustee. He was about to sign the offer for $550,000 in our area, which is like really low. And then we ended up getting, I think it was $837 or something like that for a cash offer, because we use this system where we get the property distributed to thousands of cash buyers and then make them fight over your property. And in the end, the best cash offer wins, right? So that's the one thing you need to know. If you know nothing else about getting your house sold, distribution. If you want to learn more, you can go to Can't talk and type at the same time. hybridhomesales.com and hybridhomesales.com and request. Just put your information in. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You get offers, and then you decide if you want to take it. Great. If you don't want to take it, no problem there either. So there you go, guys. Good luck getting your for sale by owner property listed and distributed. And you know what? And I will say this: if you say, you know what, I don't want to do that, I want to go ahead and have an agent do it. Just reach out to us through that website and ask us how you can get your property listed for a total of 3.5%. In most areas. So that's it. Take care.